My father runs this department, so let's keep this brief." The laugh that follows is sharp, almost cutting. Casey Dalton, just 21, delivers the line as if she's finalizing a deal, not responding to a judge. Judge Frank Caprio doesn't flinch. "Miss Dalton, when you speak in this court, you answer questions. You don't try to negotiate results. Do you understand the charges against you?" "I think this is being blown out of proportion," Casey replies. "That's not what I asked." The judge responds firmly. Casey's lawyer, Nina Park, rises smoothly. "Your Honor, my client is ready to resolve this matter today. We would like to pay the fines and move on." "Miss Park, please sit down. This court is not a payment counter," Caprio says. The words land quietly but firmly. Nina Park pauses for a moment, then sits. Caprio taps his pen once on the desk. "Officer Dantis, confirm we have the body cam audio ready." "Yes, Your Honor," the officer replies. "Before we play it, tell the audience where you're watching from, and be sure to subscribe to order in the court. This is about to get tense." The court clerk steps forward. Docket 24 to 8891. Commonwealth versus Casey and Dalton. Charges: disorderly conduct, obstruction in a designated delivery zone, and interference or intimidation directed at an officer performing lawful duties. Citation issued by Officer Marco Reyes, Traffic and Patrol. Thursday at 11:14 a.m. Caprio leans forward. "Miss Dalton, did you receive a copy of the citation at the scene?" "I did," Casey says. "And did you read it?" "I looked at it." She admits. "That's not the same," the judge replies. "Mississippi Park, is your client ready to address these charges in full today?" Nina Park rises again, more cautiously. "Your Honor, we believe the proper way to handle this is to pay the fines and close the matter. My client has no prior criminal record." "Counselor, I didn't ask about her record," Caprio says, cutting her off. "I asked if she's ready to address the facts." "Sit down," Caprio says firmly. He flips a page. There's a note here. A prior administrative warning from campus parking enforcement last fall. It wasn't a criminal matter, but it gives context for judgment. "Miss Dalton, what happened with that incident?" Casey shrugs. "I parked in a reserved spot by mistake. I moved the car afterward." "After how long?" "I don't remember. The note indicates 2 hours. The complaint came from facilities coordinator who couldn't access a loading dock." Caprio sets the page down. "That's not punishment. It's a pattern." Nina Park speaks again, trying a gentler approach. "Your Honor, my client admits she could have handled Thursday's situation better. She's ready to pay the fines today and move forward." "Miss Park," Caprio replies, "paying a fine only teaches how to write a check. I need to understand what actually happened. Miss Dalton, walk me through Thursday morning," he instructs. Casey exhales, clearly annoyed. "I was meeting a friend near Westminster and Union. A delivery truck was blocking the curb. I told the driver he needed to move. He didn't. I parked behind him to make a point. You obstructed a permitted delivery zone. He was taking up the whole block. Was the truck displaying a valid delivery permit?" There's a pause. "I didn't check," Casey admits. "That's the problem," Caprio says. "He had a permit. Let me read one line from his written statement. The permit window is tight. Delay cancels the slot." Casey waves a hand. "No one got hurt," Nina Park objects. "Your Honor, we're adding emotional context that isn't relevant to the citation." "Counselor," Caprio responds, "harm isn't just physical injury. It's the disruption of lawful procedures. Mr. Ortiz had a legal right to that space. Your client blocked it and escalated when corrected. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was obstruction." Caprio turns to the officer standing near the sidewall, signaling the next step. "Officer Reyes, please read your narrative into the record." Caprio directs. Officer Marco Reyes steps forward, calm and precise. "At 11:20 a.m., I responded to a complaint about a vehicle blocking a permitted delivery zone at Westminster and Union. When I arrived, I saw a gray sedan parked directly behind a commercial delivery truck that had a valid municipal permit. The sedan's driver, later identified as Casey Dalton, was standing near the truck and arguing with the delivery driver that I approached and told Miss Dalton that she was obstructing a permitted zone and needed to move her car. She refused. She then photographed my badge number and said, "My father's office will handle you." While I was writing the citation, she added, "Enjoy traffic school duty." Caprio pauses. "Officer Reyes, did you perceive that as a threat?" "Yes, Your Honor." Reyes answers. Casey leans forward. "That was sarcasm. I was frustrated." "Miss Dalton," Caprio says calmly, "sarcasm doesn't move a truck." He nods to the bailiff. "Officer Dantis, play the body cam audio." Just the relevant exchange, that a brief hiss of static fills the room. Then Casey's voice, clipped and sharp. "Enjoy traffic school duty." Caprio lets the silence linger for a moment. "Miss Dalton, your father is Police Chief Robert Dalton of the Providence Police Department, correct?" "Yes," Casey replies. "And when you said traffic school duty, were you referring to possible reassignment for Officer Reyes?" "I was being sarcastic," she says. Caprio turns back to Officer Reyes. "How did you interpret it?" "As leverage, Your Honor," he says. "An implied consequence for doing my job." Caprio looks at his clerk. "Miss Reyes, were there any contacts to this court or the department about this case before today?" The clerk flips through her log. "Yes, Your Honor. 2 missed calls and 1 voicemail, all from a number registered to the chief's office of the Providence Police Department. All within 1 hour of the citation," Caprio notes. Play the voicemail that a man's calm, professional voice fills the courtroom. "This is calling from Chief Dalton's office regarding case 24 to 8891. We'd like to discuss the matter and explore resolution options before it escalates. Please return this call as soon as possible." Nina Park rises quickly. "Your Honor, my client is not responsible for calls made by third parties. This is prejudicial." "Overruled," Caprio says firmly. "Pressure on the process is relevant. I'm not accusing anyone of criminal conduct. I am simply documenting facts on the record. That's transparency." Casey shifts in her seat. "I didn't ask anyone to call." "Maybe not." "Miss Dalton, if you have something to say it clearly." "I said that's not my fault. He should have planned better," she replies. "Mr. Ortiz had a valid permit. You didn't. He had a schedule and followed it. You blocked him. That is the issue," Caprio says firmly. "There's no gray area here." Caprio begins. Daniel Ortiz's voice continues firmly. "Your Honor, I don't want money from her. I just want people to understand that delivery permits exist for a reason. We're not illegally parked. We're doing our jobs. Enforcement neutrality matters. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Your statement is on the record." The line clicks off. Caprio picks up another document. "Miss Reyes, this is a screenshot of a text message submitted by the prosecution. Can you read it?" The clerk reads aloud. "From Casey Dalton to an unnamed contact. Timestamp, 11:26 a.m., Thursday. Got cited. He'll make calls. Don't sweat it." Casey's jaw tightens. "That was private. It's discoverable." Caprio responds calmly. "Miss Dalton, let me lay out the timeline. Citation issued at 11:14 a.m. Your text sent at 11:26 a.m. calls from your father's office began at 11:48 a.m. and the voicemail was left at 12:03 p.m. Someone moved quickly. I'm not saying you made the calls yourself, but you expected them to happen. Attempts to influence events do not change the facts." Nina Park rises slowly. "Your Honor, I'd like to request that the rest of this hearing be handled off the public record. Media attention could create unfair bias and interfere with a fair resolution." Caprio shakes his head. "The remedy for bias is sunlight, not shadows. This will remain on the record." He turns to Casey with a steady, calm gaze. "I'm going to ask you 3 yes or no questions. First, did you obstruct a permitted delivery zone?" "Yes," Casey admits. "Second, did you photograph Officer Reyes's badge and invoke your father's office?" Casey hesitates. "I took a picture." "That's not a no." "Did you invoke your father's office?" "Yes," she admits. "Third, did you make a statement that Officer Reyes reasonably perceived as a threat to his assignment?" "I was being sarcastic," Casey says. "That's not a no." "Miss Dalton, the record shows intimidation," Caprio says firmly. "Your Honor, this feels targeted," Casey says, her voice cracking slightly. "People block spaces all the time and don't end up in court. You're not targeted, Miss Dalton. You're noticed. Caprio responds calmly. Most people don't photograph badge numbers. Most people don't say, "My father's office will handle you." Most people don't have calls placed to the court within an hour. This isn't targeting, it's consequence. Nina Park shifts uneasily. Your Honor, Miss Dalton is a college student with no criminal record. A single lapse shouldn't define her future. I agree, Caprio says. That's why I'm treating this as a learning moment, not a judgment on character. The prior administrative warning was a whisper. This citation is the sentence. If we don't address this clearly now, the next consequence could be an officer who hesitates to enforce the law because he fears retaliation. A heavy silence falls. 5 seconds, 7, 10, 12. No one moves or speaks. Casey stares at the table. Nina Park's pen hovers midair. Officer Reyes stands quietly near the wall. Then Caprio speaks softly, yet firmly. Accountability often gets quiet so the truth can be heard. Here's my finding. The evidence supports all 3 charges. Officer Reyes's account is credible and backed by body cam audio, the tow log, and Mr. Ortiz's permit record. Miss Dalton obstructed a permitted delivery zone, escalated the situation through intimidation tactics, and invoked her father's position in a way Officer Reyes reasonably perceived as a threat. Caprio pauses, letting the weight of the statement settle. This court does not weigh cases based on titles, connections, or family position. Conduct is the only currency here. Miss Dalton, your father's office does not get to intervene. Your status does not erase harm. The law is not a velvet rope. He turns a page. I also note the prior administrative warning. That warning was instructional, not punitive. Vetted by this court. No family influence allowed. Caprio emphasizes. You were told once that reserved spaces serve a purpose. You chose not to internalize that lesson. Privilege may have hidden the consequences before, but now they are visible. Consequences exist to teach what privilege masked. He sets down the papers. The base fines total $520. Disorderly conduct, $150. Obstruction of a permitted zone, $300. Interference with an officer, $70. There are no towing or administrative fees assessed to you. Mr. Ortiz bore those costs because of your actions. Casey exhales sharply. Caprio raises a hand. I'm not finished. I am suspending a portion of that total, $280, on the condition that you complete a restorative accountability plan. If you complete it fully and on time, that portion is waived. If not, it is reinstated, and you pay the full amount. He lays out the requirements. First, a written apology to Officer Marco Reyes and Daniel Ortiz. Not a form letter or a PR statement. A real apology that names what you did and what you learned. Deliver it in person if both agree to meet you. If either declines, mail it, and the court will confirm receipt. Second, 120 hours of community service with the Providence Police Department Community Relations Division. This is not photo ops or press events. You will assist with resident support calls, outreach for permit education, schedule liaison tasks, and handle direct constituent questions. The division commander will submit a detailed log to the court. Third, co-assist in 3 public workshops on delivery and accessible zone rules. No cameras, no branding, just education. Fourth, write and submit a short public service announcement script for teens about compliance and respect during traffic